Hi, welcome back to this video where we are going to talk about journaling. And this is not your preteen diary that we're talking about. Journaling as an entrepreneur is actually really important and it's pretty powerful. It might even rise up to be one of the more powerful spring cleaning practices you can embark on. And entrepreneurs such as Richard Branson and Oprah and Leonardo da Vinci and Benjamin Franklin all kept journals. Because it's one thing to think something. It's another thing to write it down and then see it, right? The act of writing something down and seeing it and reading it and consuming it in that different way changes the information. Because when you write it down, you are both the author and the audience. And it is time for you to get very real and super authentic with yourself. This is not for other people to read. This is where you write about your fears and about your worries and about all the things that have brought you to winter, but also all of your hopes and dreams and the things that will carry you through to summer. So let's take a look at what journaling can do for us. Journaling helps process our automatic negative thoughts and turns them into automatic positive thoughts. So when we know something is our default thought, we can actually create a reframe for it and say, whenever I think X, I'm going to replace it with Y. And you can write about it, and you can write every time you're successful at making that transition. You can talk about why the automatic positive thought matters to you, and you can externalize your thinking, because it's in that point that you can identify the positive and negative patterns you feel over time. It is not enough for you just to say, oh, I'll think differently next time. We have to see the patterns, and when you get lost in your own thoughts, the 60,000 thoughts we have a minute, it's really hard for you to recognize patterns over a long period. You might think, oh, I've always thought that. But if you read back in your journal, you'll realize, no, actually, I've only thought that for 3 weeks. I actually have not always thought this. This thing happened and it changed the way I think. And now I think this way, but it was actually only 3 weeks ago, right? So it helps you track your negative and positive patterns. So you can either continue to create structures and systems to support those patterns, or you can find ways to break those patterns if they're negative and you don't want them. Journaling gives you permission to dream, and it clarifies your desires. So if you really want to attain something, you can write about it. Write what it feels like to reach it. Write what it feels like to have the thing. I think we lose track of some of that manifestation power. But by journaling, we can visualize it. We can write all the things about that experience and really help our brain see the outcome. Because honestly, our brain doesn't always know what we feel as an experience and what we feel as a visualization. And we know that to be true because athletes around the world, especially Olympians and that level of athlete, will often have a mindset coach on their support team, and that person learns visualization techniques about winning the gold, doing the race, succeeding in the game, whatever it is, so that they've already seen it in their brain. And then they can just go out and do the thing, right? If they see themselves hitting the ball, they go out and hit the ball exactly as they visualized it. So our brains are ridiculously powerful, and journaling helps us create what our desires and our dreams are. It also tracks how far we've come in our business. So if you've been an entrepreneur for more than 6 months or a year, you might lose track of what you were like 6 months or a year ago. But think if you've been in business for 8 years. How different of an entrepreneur you were 8 years ago, right? So it tracks how far you've come, and it really kind of adds a little bit of nostalgia to your journey about other things you faced and overcame, which you might have forgotten because you're in the here and now. You forgot that you did all those amazing things before, and journaling is a way to capture those memories. It strengthens your business brilliance, and it does capture your purpose, your passion, and your power, because it's in those pages as you write honestly and authentically all of your hopes and dreams, right? All of the passions, why it matters, why you want this so badly. What is the difference you want to make in the world, right? You capture those feelings, and then you can read back when you are facing a little bit of a winter and you're like, I reconnect to my why. I remember why I'm doing this. I remember who I'm doing this for. And I can recommit to the work it takes to reach my goals, right? So journaling offers an incredible abundance of value. And I really hope that you find a way to work it into your schedule. Now, some people wake up in the morning and do it for a few minutes. Some people do it in the afternoon, in the evening. Some people do it once a week. Some people do bullet journaling. Some people do longhand. However it fits in your life is the right decision for you. But when you are honest and you put everything down on paper, it really does become a testimony to your growth, and it's an investment in your ability to be a better entrepreneur. Because once you externalize something and you're having a bad day, for example, and you think everything is terrible, and you write this and you close the book, you go to sleep, you wake up the next morning and you read it, you can think, wow, I was in a dark place yesterday, but today I have 2 new orders, or I have a request to find out more about my business. I'm not in that place. I'm not in that place. So I'm grateful that I was able to get it out of me so I could have a good sleep, because today is a new day and I'm facing my business like a boss, right? So let journaling empower you as you walk back to summer. Let it bring you back to summer on your own brilliance. That really is the power of journaling, is that your brilliance becomes on paper. You can then see it and reflect on it and strengthen yourself through the experiences that you write about. Journaling is amazing. So please find yourself a practice of some sort by journaling. Give it 3 months and see how you feel. And then look back at those early entries and say, wow, I've come so far in 3 months. I know you'll want to continue, because tracking that kind of growth is absolutely a path to summer. Anyways, thank you for joining me. Find yourself a brand new beautiful journal and get journaling. I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.